If you're shopping for a luxury SUV right now, stop. Auto analysts just confirmed something dealerships don't want you to know. The vehicle you're about to finance for 6 years is already obsolete, and the replacement costs 40% less. But there's a reason you've never heard of it. In the next few seconds, you'll learn why legacy automakers are spending millions to make sure these SUVs never reach American roads. The first one doesn't even look like it's from this decade. The Hongqi E-HS9 pulls up like a concept car that escaped the show floor. It's massive, taller than an Escalade, wider than a Range Rover, but the proportions are all wrong in the best way. The front end is pure vertical chrome waterfall, LED strips running the full height like someone turned a skyscraper into a grill. The roofline is cathedral glass, panoramic from A-pillar to rear hatch, and when you see it in person the first time, your brain doesn't categorize it as a car. It registers as a luxury object that happens to move. Here's the signature proof. The rear seats recline to zero gravity position, full massage function, independent climate zones, and they fold out footrests like first-class airline pods. You can't do this in a BMW X7. You can't do this in a Cadillac Escalade. Those vehicles still think the back seat is for kids. Performance blocks hits different. Dual motors push 551 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and the battery pack delivers 396 miles of range on a single charge. That's not impressive until you realize this thing weighs 3 tons and still moves like a sports sedan. The air suspension reads the road every 8 milliseconds and adjusts in real time. You're floating, not driving. Compare this to the Mercedes EQS SUV. Same price bracket, less range, slower charging, and the interior feels like Stuttgart is still designing for 2018. The EQS has 3 screens. The EHS9 has 5, including rear seat entertainment displays that put business class aviation to shame. Inside is Napa leather everywhere, real wood trim that's book-matched across the dashboard, and a center console made from a single piece of carved aluminum. The tactile experience is closer to a Bentley than a Buick, and the smell when you open the door is hand-stitched luxury, not plastic off-gassing. The ambient lighting has 64 colors and responds to your music. It's excessive. It's supposed to be. Pricing comes in around $72,000 in China. For context, that's what you pay for a base X7 in the US before you add options. Except the X7 doesn't have massage seats, doesn't have a panoramic sky roof this big, and definitely doesn't have zero gravity recline. This feels like someone made a mistake on the invoice. But that's just the warm-up. The next one has a feature that's technically illegal in 3 US states. The Nio ES8 doesn't announce itself. It just occupies space like it was always supposed to be there. The design language is minimalist aggression, sharp character lines running the full length, flush door handles that present themselves when you approach, and a front fascia that's almost entirely LED. No grille, no vents, just a glowing heartbeat signature that pulses when the car recognizes your phone. It's sci-fi, but grounded, like someone from 2035 came back and toned it down, so we wouldn't panic. Signature proof is the battery swap system. Pull into a Nio power swap station. The car drives itself onto the platform. A robot removes your depleted battery from underneath, installs a fresh one, and you drive away in under 5 minutes. Full charge, no waiting, no plugging in, no standing in a Walmart parking lot for 40 minutes. This is infrastructure thinking that makes Tesla superchargers look like a beta test. Power specs are brutal for a 3-row family SUV. 644 horsepower from dual permanent magnet motors, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and a 100 kilowatt-hour battery that delivers over 300 miles of range. The adaptive air suspension lowers at highway speed for aerodynamics and raises for off-road clearance. You have more suspension travel than a Jeep Grand Cherokee and better on-road dynamics than a Porsche Cayenne. Western benchmark is the Audi e-tron. Similar size, similar price in Europe, but the e-tron charges slower, accelerates slower, and requires you to sit at a charging station like it's 2021. Nio solved the charging problem by eliminating it. Audi is still selling you a cable. Interior is where Nio goes full psychopath. The front seats are thrones, Napa leather with diamond stitching, 12-way power adjustment, and heating-cooling massage as standard. The second row has independent captain's chairs with ottomans. The third row isn't a punishment, it's actually usable by adults, with its own climate control and USB-C ports. The dashboard is a single piece of microfiber synthetic suede that wraps around you like a cockpit. The digital instrument cluster is 9.8 inches. The center screen is 11.3 inches, and the voice assistant responds faster than Siri ever has. Price is $68,000 in China. In the US, the equivalent would be an Audi Q7 or a BMW X5, both of which cost more and do less. The Q7 doesn't have battery swap. The X5 doesn't have 644 horsepower, and neither of them has an interior this considered. The third one just added a feature that makes valet parking obsolete. The Li Auto L9 is a statement in size. It's longer than a Suburban, taller than a Yukon, and when it pulls up it blocks out the sun. The design is brutalist luxury, flat surfaces, sharp edges, and a front end that's just two massive LED bars stacked vertically like robotic eyes. The roofline is uninterrupted glass, and the body panels are so flush you could run your hand across the doors and never feel a seam. This is what happens when you let engineers design for function and then wrap it in arrogance. Signature proof is the autonomous parking system. The L9 can remember your parking spot, navigate multi-level garages without driver input, and return to you at the entrance when you summon it via app. It's full self-parking, no human required, and it works in spaces too tight for you to open the door. Tesla's summon feature is a joke compared to this. Power block is interesting because Li Auto went hybrid. A 1.5-liter range extender keeps the battery topped off, but the real grunt comes from dual electric motors making 449 horsepower. Combined range is over 800 miles. You can drive from Los Angeles to San Francisco and back without charging or refueling. The 0 to 60 time is 5.3 seconds, which is absurd for something that seats 6 adults in genuine comfort. Compare this to the Cadillac Escalade hybrid. The Escalade gets 460 horsepower and maybe 600 miles of combined range if you drive like a monk. It costs $90,000 before options. The L9 starts at $63,000 and includes features Cadillac charges extra for, like air suspension, rear seat entertainment, and a refrigerator in the center console. Inside, it's a living room on wheels. The second row seats recline to 43 degrees. They have independent leg rests, and the cushions are filled with memory foam thick enough to nap on. The third row folds completely flat to create a bed. The dashboard has a 15.7-inch OLED center screen, a secondary control screen for the passenger, and rear seat screens that drop down from the ceiling. The sound system is 21 speakers tuned by a Chinese audio company you've never heard of, and it sounds better than the Burmeister in a Porsche. Price crime here is real. $63,000 for a 6-seat hybrid SUV with 800-mile range and full autonomous parking. In America, You're paying that much for a Tesla Model X that seats 5 uncomfortably and has a range of 330 miles. Next one has a chassis feature that's technically banned from US roads. The Zeekr 009 is a minivan, but calling it that feels like an insult. It's shaped like a luxury shuttle, low and wide, with sliding rear doors that open to reveal an interior that looks like a private jet cabin. The exterior is all horizontal lines, chrome accent strips, and a front LED light bar that stretches the entire width. The paint is deep gloss black with metallic flake, and when light hits it, the surface looks liquid. This is what happens when a minivan stops apologizing for being practical. Signature proof is the rear axle steering. The back wheels turn up to 12 degrees in the opposite direction at low speeds, giving this land yacht a turning radius smaller than a Honda Accord. You can U-turn on a 2-lane road. You can parallel park in spaces designed for compact sedans. It's witchcraft, and it's standard. Power comes from dual motors, making 536 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. This is faster than most sports sedans, and it's a minivan. The 140 kilowatt-hour battery delivers over 400 miles of range, and it charges at 300 kilowatts, which means you can add 200 miles in 15 minutes. That's faster than a Porsche Taycan. Western comparison is the Mercedes EQV. The EQV is slow, expensive, and has a range under 250 miles. It costs 85,000 euros and drives like a commercial van, with leather seats. The Zeekr 009 is faster, more luxurious, longer range, and costs $48,000 in China. That price gap is violence. Interior is where this thing becomes unhinged. The second row captain's chairs have ottomans, heating, cooling, massage, and they recline to near flat. The headrests are pillows. The armrests are padded. There's a fold-out table between the seats with wireless charging and cup holders. The third row has its own sunroof, climate control, and USB ports. The center console has a built-in refrigerator. The ambient lighting has 256 colors. This isn't a minivan. This is a boardroom that moves. Price is $48,000. The Honda Odyssey costs $45,000 and feels like a penalty box compared to this. The Mercedes EQV costs almost double and doesn't even have rear axle steering. The next one just broke the record for fastest charging production vehicle. The XPeng G9 looks like it was designed in a wind tunnel and then never softened. Every line is aerodynamic, the roofline slopes like a coupe. The underbody is completely flat, and the drag coefficient is lower than a Tesla Model S. The front end is a single continuous LED strip, no grille, just a glowing band of light that curves around the corners. When you see it moving at night, it looks like a light sculpture, not a car. Signature proof is the 800-volt charging architecture. This thing can accept 480 kilowatts of charging power. In ideal conditions, you can add 300 miles of range in 10 minutes. That's not a typo. 10 minutes. Tesla's V3 supercharger peaks at 250 kilowatts and takes twice as long. XPeng built a charging system that makes every other EV infrastructure look like it's from 2015. Power block is 551 horsepower from dual motors, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and a 98 kilowatt-hour battery, good for 350 miles of range. The adaptive dampers adjust every 10 milliseconds. The air suspension has 5 height settings, and the LiDAR system scans the road 1.5 million times per second. This is a tech flex disguised as an SUV. Compare this to the BMW iX, same price bracket in Europe. Slower charging, less horsepower, and an interior that looks like Bavaria gave up halfway through. The iX takes 30 minutes to charge to 80%. The G9 does it in 12. Inside it's minimalist luxury. The dashboard is one continuous piece of vegan leather. The center screen is 14.96 inches and runs on a Snapdragon processor, faster than most laptops, and the voice assistant can control over 600 vehicle functions. The seats are ventilated, heated, massaged, and wrapped in microfiber that feels like suede but doesn't stain. The sound system is 28 speakers. The panoramic roof has electrochromic dimming. You don't configure the interior, you just live in it. Price is $56,000 in China. The BMW iX starts at $87,000 in the US and doesn't charge as fast, doesn't accelerate as hard, and doesn't have LiDAR. Next one has an AI assistant that's actually useful. The Avatar 11 is a design exercise in how to make an SUV look like it's moving while parked. The body is one continuous sculpture, no hard lines, just flowing surfaces that curve into each other. The headlights are hidden behind a glass panel that illuminates in segments, and the taillights wrap around the entire rear hatch like a light bulb. It's Art Deco meets sci-fi, and it doesn't look like anything else on the road. Signature Proof is the AI co-pilot. It's not voice recognition, it's conversational AI that understands context, learns your preferences, and can control every function in the car without you touching a screen. You can say, "I'm cold," and it adjusts the temperature. You can say, "Find me a coffee shop," and it routes you there without confirmation prompts. It's what Siri should have been 5 years ago. Power delivery is 578 horsepower from triple motors, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and a 116 kilowatt-hour battery that delivers 370 miles of range. The suspension is adaptive with CDC dampers that respond in real time to road conditions. The braking system has a regenerative mode that can bring you to a complete stop without touching the brake pedal. Western benchmark is the Tesla Model X. Similar price in China, but the Model X interior is minimalist to the point of sterile. The ride is harsh, and the voice assistant still can't understand half of what you say. The Avatar 11 has a better interior, smoother ride, and an AI system that actually works. Inside, it's tactile luxury obsession. The seats are wrapped in Napa leather with contrast stitching. The dashboard is real aluminum and wood veneer, and the center console is floating, suspended between the seats like it's defying physics. The steering wheel is flat-bottom, leather-wrapped, and has capacitive controls that respond to touch. The instrument cluster is a curved OLED display. The center screen is 15.6 inches, and the rear passengers get their own 10-inch screens. Price is $52,000 in China. The Model X starts at $98,000 in the US and feels cheap by comparison. The next one just introduced a feature that makes every other SUV feel outdated. The Voya Free is built like it's expecting a fight. The body is high-riding, the fenders are flared, and the ground clearance is off-road serious. But the design is clean. Modern LED signatures, flush handles, and a floating roofline that makes it look lighter than it is. The paint options include matte finishes that cost extra on a Bentley, and the wheels are forged aluminum, not cast. Signature Proof is the air suspension with off-road mode. It can raise the ride height by 6 inches, lock the differentials, and engage terrain response modes for sand, mud, and snow. Then you can lower it back down for highway driving, and it becomes a luxury cruiser. It's a Land Rover Defender and a Range Rover in the same body. Power is 510 horsepower from dual motors, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds, and a 106 kilowatt-hour battery, good for 310 miles of range. There's also a plug-in hybrid version with 860 miles of combined range, That's Los Angeles to Seattle on one tank. Compare this to the Land Rover Defender. The Defender is slower, less luxurious, less reliable, and costs $75,000 before options. The Voya Free starts at $53,000 and includes features Land Rover charges $15,000 extra for. Inside, it's Safari Luxury. The seats are ventilated leather with diamond stitching. The dashboard is carbon fiber and brushed aluminum, and the center console has a wireless charging pad, big enough for 2 phones. The rear seats recline, heat, and cool. The panoramic sunroof is massive. The sound system is 14 speakers. There's a built-in air purifier with HEPA filtration. Price is $53,000 USD. The Defender costs more, brakes more, and has an interior that feels like it's designed for function over comfort. This is designed for both. Next one has a luxury feature that's never been in a production SUV before. The tank. 500Hi4T is a contradiction. It's a body-on-frame off-roader with the interior of a Rolls-Royce. The exterior is aggressive, vertical grille, square fenders, exposed tow hooks, and roof rails thick enough to mount a tent. But the proportions are elegant, the LED lighting is refined, and the paint is deep metallic with 6-layer clear coat. Signature proof is the rear seat refrigerator and tea-making station. Not a cooler, a refrigerator. And next to it, a built-in electric kettle with porcelain cups stored in a padded drawer. You can brew tea while off-roading. This is luxury absurdity, and it's standard equipment. Power comes from a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid system, making 500 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. It has full-time 4-wheel drive, a 2-speed transfer case, and locking differentials front and rear, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, which is ridiculous for a truck-based SUV that weighs 6,800 pounds. Western comparison is the Toyota Land Cruiser or the Lexus LX. Both cost over $90,000 USD, both are slower, and neither has a T-station. The Land Cruiser interior is durable but bland. The Tank 500 interior is durable and opulent. Inside it's wood, leather, and metal everywhere. The front seats are 18-way, adjustable with heating, cooling, and massage. The second row has captain's chairs with ottomans, and the seat backs have folding trays. The third row is actually usable. The dashboard is stitched leather with contrast piping. The center screen is 14.6 inches. The gauge cluster is a 12.3-inch digital display. There's ambient lighting, a panoramic sunroof, and a 12-speaker sound system. Price is $62,000 US. The Lexus LX costs over $100,000 and doesn't have half the interior features. This is market disruption disguised as a luxury truck. The last one is the reason legacy automakers are panicking. The Yangwang U8 is a statement of dominance. It's the size of a G-Wagon, the stance of a Hummer, and the tech of a spaceship. The body is carbon fiber over aluminum. The wheels are 22-inch forged alloys, and the ground clearance is adjustable from 7 to 13 inches. The design is military brutalism, wrapped in luxury, sharp angles, vertical LED arrays, and a front grille that looks like it could ram through a wall. Signature proof is the emergency flotation mode. Yes, flotation. The U8 can drive into water up to 5 feet deep, seal the cabin, and float. The wheels become propellers. You can cross rivers, flooded roads, or lakes, and the vehicle keeps going. No production SUV has ever done this. Not the G-Wagon, not the Defender, not the Hummer EV. Power is quad motor, one per wheel, delivering 1,180 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, in a body-on-frame SUV. It can turn in place, crab walk diagonally, and execute a tank turn by spinning the wheels on opposite sides in opposite directions. The battery is 140 kilowatt hours, range is 280 miles, and it tows 17,600 pounds. Compare this to the Mercedes G-Wagon. The G-Wagon makes 577 horsepower, costs $170,000 and cannot float. The U8 makes double the power, floats, has quad motors, and costs $150,000 in China. It's cheaper and more capable. Inside, it's tactical luxury. The seats are Napa leather with Alcantara inserts. The dashboard is carbon fiber and anodized aluminum, and the center console is machined from a single billet. The screens are massive, the controls are tactile, and the build quality is on par with anything Germany makes. The rear seats recline, the sound system is 23 speakers, and the cabin air filtration system is rated for biochemical threats. Price is $150,000 in China. In the US, that's what you pay for a base G-Wagon before adding options. Except the G-Wagon doesn't have quad motors, doesn't float, and can't spin in place. This is the endgame. You have 10 Chinese luxury SUVs that cost less, do more, and look better than anything you can buy in a US dealership right now. The Hongqi with zero gravity seats, the Nio with battery swapping, the Li Auto with 800-mile range, the Zeekr minivan that's faster than a sports car, the Xpeng that charges in 10 minutes, the Avatar with AI that actually works, the Voya that's a Defender and a Range Rover in one, the Tank 500 with a T-station, the Yangwang that floats. This isn't speculation. These are production vehicles, selling right now, in volume. The reason you haven't heard of them is because they're not available in the US yet. But the gap between what you're buying and what's possible has become so wide that it's starting to look like a scam. And the uncomfortable question isn't whether these vehicles are real, it's why you're still paying more for less. So here's your loyalty test. If your next SUV costs $70,000, would you take the BMW X7 with the old dashboard and no massage seats, or the Hongqi E-HS9 with zero gravity recline and a panoramic sky roof? And here's the trust dilemma. If Chinese EVs are this far ahead in 2026, what does the market look like in 2028 when tariffs drop and these things start landing in American ports? Next video breaks down the real reason legacy automakers are lobbying to keep these vehicles out. And the numbers are worse than you think.